I never imagined paddling my kayak on Lake Harmony and spotting a five-tier wedding cake drifting by, its plastic bride gripping a sparkler like a flare. Yet there it was, bobbing alongside a soggy appetizer table and two bridesmaids clutching helium balloons for buoyancy. The chaos originated from my private dock, which someone had claimed as their own. That someone was Victoria Langston, the HOA's iron-fisted queen, her hairspray propping up her ego, her glossy newsletters wielding control. She had rules for every lawn ornament, every shutter hue, every child's sidewalk chalk. My land, my dock, that was mine, or so I believed. It started on a serene Wednesday, Lake Harmony shimmering under dawn's light, my coffee steaming, my dog Rusty splashing after minnows. Then I saw them, two men in khakis setting up a canopy on my dock. I assumed they were lost, perhaps hired by a neighbor. Approaching, they flashed rehearsed smiles and handed me a clipboard. Cedar Vale Community Event. Dock approved, signed Victoria L. I stared at the paper, then my dock, my refuge, bought to escape people like Victoria. This is my property, not HOA land, I said. They shrugged, promised a quick setup, and unrolled a white carpet. I was still reeling when Victoria strode up, sunglasses oversized, clipboard gleaming. "We're hosting Hearts in Bloom, a charity gala," she declared, gesturing at the dock like it was hers. "For endangered wildlife." I refused outright. She tilted her head, feigning surprise. "The invitations are sent. Canceling would tarnish a noble cause." She flashed an email chain with no trace of my consent. When I held firm, she sighed. "It'd look selfish if you derailed this." Then she snapped at a worker to fix a floral arch. I could have called the sheriff of Willow County. I could have chained the dock. But as a former Coast Guard dock engineer, I had a sharper plan. My dock was detachable, secured by two underwater pins, unlatched for maintenance, held by ropes. Victoria was staging her gala on a floating platform, clueless. I retreated to my porch, brewed fresh coffee, and sank into my rocker. Rusty sprawled nearby, sensing mischief. By afternoon, the dock was a vision of twinkling lights, lanterns, and rented tables, a speaker blasting pop tunes. Guests rolled up in golf carts, dressed for a photo shoot, none bothering to knock. At sunset, a breeze loosened one rope. Victoria grabbed the mic, preaching unity. The second rope slipped. The dock drifted. 5 minutes later, a child yelled, "We're floating." Laughter turned to shrieks. A champagne flute shattered. A table tipped. The DJ's equipment sparked and fizzled. Victoria screamed for an anchor, but no one knew how. A guest dove off, tangled in the floral arch, dragging chairs into Lake Harmony. I stood, waved, and called, "Enjoy the lake." Victoria pointed, screeching about sabotage. "Trespassing's illegal, even with canapes," I shot back. She threatened a lawsuit. "Good luck," I said. Kayaks and a neighbor's boat rescued the soggy guests. The cake sank. The next morning, Lake Harmony was calm, a stray chair bobbing in the reeds. But peace was fleeting. Golf carts rumbled up, carrying drenched galagoers glaring like I'd ruined their dreams. Victoria led the charge, stepping from her sleek BMW, clipboard in hand. "You caused emotional trauma," she accused. "Endangered children, guests, even a pastor." I sipped my coffee. "A pastor?" She snapped. "You're liable." I reminded her she'd trespassed. She claimed verbal approval from someone on my land. "I live alone," I said. Her pause lingered. She waved a folder. "The HOA's filing for endangerment, negligence, waterway violations." I nearly laughed. Lake Harmony wasn't hers. She ignored my demand for proof, rallying her damp posse. One tried photographing me, Rusty barked, and their phone splashed into a puddle. By noon, an HO email blasted community betrayal on the dock. Victoria painted me as a villain who sabotaged the gala to humiliate her, claiming she'd heroically saved stranded guests. The Cedar Vale forum exploded. Some swallowed her narrative, others questioned her access. She branded dissenters disloyal. Then a legal complaint appeared taped to my gate. Emotional distress, sabotage, failure to disclose dock instability. I read it 3 times, stunned. I took it to my neighbor, Margaret, a retired judge. She scanned it, her eyes narrowing. Good news, it's flimsy. Better news, I'll help you bury it. We gathered evidence, property maps, drone footage of Victoria's trespass, video of me denying permission. Then Evan, a junior HOA assistant, knocked, handing me a flash drive. Victoria's wrong, he whispered. It contained emails proving she'd bypassed a board vote, ignored objections, and forged my approval. Margaret drafted a counterclaim for harassment and frivolous litigation. Victoria didn't relent. Flyers accused me of instability, one photoshopping me as Doc Devil. Rusty growled at it. I stayed calm, letting the court date approach. Margaret prepared like a general, her old Navy suit pressed crisp. Victoria's newsletters grew desperate, begging neighbors for testimony, coercing some, alienating others. The Willow County Courthouse was weathered, its wood-paneled walls steeped in history. Margaret's briefcase snapped open, labeled Langston Files. Victoria arrived, sporting a neck brace, clutching tissues, trailed by a nervous lawyer and 2 board members. Her lawyer claimed I'd engineered the drift to ruin the HOA, citing trauma and a damaged handbag. Margaret countered with facts: my land, no permission, clear video of Victoria's defiance. She presented Evan's emails, anonymized, exposing her lies. The judge paused the footage, asking if it was Victoria's voice. She mumbled, yes. He demanded proof of permission. She claimed a landscaper approved it. I live alone, I said. The room stilled. Margaret pounced, highlighting Victoria's contradictions. The judge dismissed the case, fining the HOA for frivolity. Victoria clutched her brace, her lawyer deflated. Outside, Margaret high-fived me. A neighbor muttered, about time. Victoria's email ranted about judicial bias, vowing an appeal. The HOA unraveled. Board members resigned. The Cedar Vale Facebook group turned chaotic, neighbors exposing Victoria's misdeeds, luxury furniture bought with HOA funds, forced citations. A parody account, Victoria of the Lake, mocked her daily. I repainted the dock, added cleats, anchored it tight. Neighbors brought cookies. Rusty basked in the attention. But Victoria lurked, her BMW circling, newsletters stuffed in my mailbox, accusing me of fracturing the community. Then red paint streaked my mailbox. Security footage caught her, hooded, tossing flyers over my fence. Margaret urged charges. I hesitated, curious how far she'd sink. The new HOA head, Lydia, a no-nonsense librarian, apologized, issuing a memo to steer clear of me. Victoria struck back, smashing my dock's Wi-Fi router. I filed a police report with the footage. Neighbors sent support, a note, you stood up, and a card with Rusty in a superhero cape. Victoria posted a community safety coordinator letter accusing me of bullying. Margaret drafted a cease and desist, sent via every channel. Silence followed for 3 days. Then Evan warned that Victoria planned a town hall to salvage her reputation, inviting local press. It flopped, empty seats, passers-by ignoring her pamphlets, a teen shouting, "Why'd the gala float?" I watched through binoculars, coffee in hand, her meltdown almost pitiable. The HOA sent an apology, offering a community event in my honor. I declined, preferring quiet. Then a Willow County survey arrived, revealing my land extended 6 feet under the HOA clubhouse patio, including their grill station. Victoria had been using my property for years. Margaret chuckled, karma with a tape measure. I waited. Victoria was caught planning patio expansions. I handed her the survey. Her face reddened. You can't claim this. Willow County says otherwise, I replied. She stormed off. Lydia and 2 board members visited, nervous. I offered coffee, asking only for acknowledgement, not conflict. They left with the survey. At an emergency meeting, Victoria raged, but Lydia shut her down, halting all use of non-HOA land. Evan exposed Victoria's other oversteps: paths, benches, fences on neighbors' lots. A note from her arrived: "This isn't over." I tossed it. Lydia uncovered Victoria's fraud. She'd leased my land's patio to a caterer for 8 months, pocketing the funds. I demanded reimbursement and Victoria's permanent ban. The board complied, revoking her access, erasing her clubhouse plaque. One morning, Victoria appeared on my dock, defeated. "I'm leaving," she said, staring at Lake Harmony. Maybe it was never mine. She walked away. Her house emptied, a for sale sign tilting in the yard. At a Cedar Vale event, I unveiled a dock sign: "Langston's Folly." Laughter erupted, a collective exhale. Evan left, handing me a courtroom still of Victoria's defeat, saying, "Thanks for standing up." That night, I sat by Lake Harmony, Rusty at my feet. The water was still, stars bright. Peace wasn't free, it was won through floating cakes and petty wars. Victoria was gone, her shadow lingering in every HOA rule, every power grab. My dock, once stolen, stood firm, a testament to holding ground.